welcome to Making Waves, the ShipRocked podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media family, and welcome to episode 69 to help us end out the year that is 2021 that we shall either, well, bring close to our bosom or want to push away as far as possible and quickly as possible. So we'll go into 22. So listen, we couldn't think of really a better artist to help us kind of usher out the this year because he's had a hell of a year, super busy. So please, everyone, welcome Matt from 0936. Welcome, Matt. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So as I mentioned, you've had a busy year. You were putting out singles through the year, and then your album, been on the road, been playing festivals. What was your takeaway from 2021?
Yeah, I've never toured before, ever. So my first tour was in July, and the first tour offer we got was from Shinedown for like the thing, and my agent called me. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna do the Shinedown tour. We're gonna do that whenever that was, September." And I was like, "Okay, great," but we've never played any shows before. So I was like, is there nothing like happening before this? And he was like, no, nothing. And then literally like maybe like a week later, Lee from Pop Evil asked if I wanted to go on his tour. And I was like, dude, please, thank you. And it actually went way better than I thought. So thank you for Lee. And
it's really interesting because you went out, obviously, I mean, Shinedown is one of the best live bands going right now. So it's super hard if you're kind of new to the game to get in there. But I mean, such great teachers, and you can watch them in their interplay. But also Pop Evil, great younger live band. So quite honestly, that was a win-win for you.
I just got lucky that someone would take a chance on me so soon. I just wanted, because I know, and not even for any reason other than we only had like 7 or 8 shows with Shinedown. I was like, we're going to start it. And then by the time I'm done, I'll be like, I'm comfortable to play now. And then it's going to be over. So I wanted, and then they offered it was like 40 shows or something. It was insane. So we did that, and ended up, he was very helpful helping me get my footing and stuff together. So yeah, that was a lucky timeline for me.
Well, not only those tours, but then you're doing these festival shows where you're sitting and you're looking at it 20, 30, 40,000 people. So yeah, you went right into the deep end of the pool, my friend.
Yeah. And I also, once again, got lucky with the timeline because my song Adrenaline was doing well. So then people actually wanted to see me at the festival.
Yeah.
So I was just like in right place, right time this year. Thankfully, I don't know what I did right to anybody, but.
Do you want to hear something really weird that just hit me like a ton of bricks right now? Yeah. So I'm sitting in Mark Jackson's house, and like this is like a year. Yeah, great, awesome dude. And I'm sitting here and we're working on something, and he texts me. Oh, sorry, he gets a text and he's like, "Oh shit, that's dope." I was telling him about how much at the time. This is 2019. You know, I was like, "Oh man, this fucking dude." You know, I heard his shit. You know, the song at the time, I think, wasn't The End. It might have been. Actually, I have it written down in a note. I'll get back to that point. Mm-hmm. He says, "So this guy, that dude you were talking about, he just text messages me, and he just got a festival offer. He's gonna play his first show. So he was like rooting for you, you know." Mm-hmm. And then that festival fucking played. I think it was Louder Than Life or whatever. Yeah. So now we're talking about it right now. It's weird. I just thought about that.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
So to add on to what Justin was just saying. So you went Pop Evil, Shinedown, and then Neck Deep, right? And
yeah.
Incredibly cool, vast, different sides of the guitar rock and roll spectrum. And then you went and did your own headliner. Correct?
Starts in March.
Okay.
Headline starts in March.
Got it. So then you didn't. So what the dates that I saw, those are probably the Neck Deep dates.
Yes, that was November to December.
Okay, so you just got off that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question specifically about the time frame? Do all those shows play? Like, did none of them canceled? They're all.
So actually, my band and crew got COVID 11 shows into Neck Deep. And then we had to drop off the rest of the tour because we couldn't clear protocol.
So you didn't do the Detroit show, right?
I did play the Detroit show.
Shit. It's right next door to my house, the Royal Lake Music Theater.
I did play that.
I thought you weren't on it. I think
so they played every show except the last 2.
Okay, got it.
So we ended up, it was 29 shows. We ended up playing 11. The timeline was a little bit askew because we played like 8 shows, then had to go play Welcome to Rockville and then come back. And we missed 2 shows because of that. And then it was like 2 days off. And then we played 3 shows. And then we played 2 more. It was like a long thing. But we played about 11 or 13 shows out of the 29. And then there ended up being a weird COVID protocol thing where my guys kept testing positive past the 10-day quarantine period, and venues didn't really like that. And then they were giving them problems. So then we just ended up having to drop off, but then they ended up dropping off the last 2 shows. So those last 2 shows in general didn't happen. And I played up until St. Louis, I think, or the day after that, or whatever it was. But I did play Detroit. So
you've been fucking crushing. And that was where I just thought about it, that you were here. But yeah, okay. That's a lot of touring to be doing in such a crazy year to begin with. And on top of that, to be your first round of touring, that's very unheard of.
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
Now, one of the stuff is that with you just finally getting on the road and being this actor, and you have material out prior to the year, there are a lot of ways a lot of music fans dream, because now they're in from the ground up with you. And now you're no longer someone they just, he's been around for years, I finally discovered him. Like, now they're going to grow with you. So this is such a benefit to you as an artist, because now you have this groundswell that's right there. And that's a very unique position to be in. You know, we always have these acts that have been groomed and everything like that, and now they're ready. But you just went right out there, man. You just threw yourself out there, and I think fans can certainly appreciate that.
Who knows? All I know is I was just like, I'm not going to turn anything down. And especially I remember when the time came to, the Pop Evil thing, and then the Shinedown thing, and then the Neck Deep thing. And then everybody was like, I don't think you should do 70 shows this year, bro. Like, you shouldn't do that. And I was like, if we don't have shows next year and I didn't take these shows because 70 in 6 months was too much, I'm going to be pissed. So, well, yeah, you never know. So then we took them all. So,
that's yeoman's work. It's funny. I've been reading this Van Halen book, and they were talking about doing 25 shows in 26 days. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's road work. That's a road band, right? You're out there every night gigging.
I don't know how his voice box didn't fall off.
Oh, he had a pretty good guitarist to kind of cover the holes. So, yeah.
My guitar is really good, too. I'm about to lean on him.
You should.
Listen,
like, I didn't take the chorus on this one, dude.
People will notice about you.
I do lean on him, actually. Go ahead.
One of the things people will definitely notice about you is you do a lot of great collaborations with acts. And someone who keeps appearing in your life is Travis Barker. How did that relationship formulate?
So my manager that I've been working with since 2018 is friends with his manager, and then we sent him the song, and he was okay. So I didn't know this. Okay. So I've never talked to Travis before, and I guess they sent him the song. I didn't know they sent him the song. I think they originally sent him the end, but then like it didn't work out with his like time, scheduling and stuff like that. So then we sent, and then but I never heard back. And then they sent them in my hands, and I didn't even know that he heard the song. And then he just DM'd me on Instagram. He was like, "Yo, bro, did you hear the song?" And I was like, "I certainly didn't." So if you want to send it my way, please do. He's like, "Yeah, I just tracked the drums myself, so let me know if they sound good." And I was like, "They sound great." So he sent it over to me. I didn't even know that he ever heard it. I knew like my manager was like, "Yeah, we're gonna try and get Travis on this," and I'm like, "That's great." And then he just DM'd me. No other, and so that's how that went.
You just go artist to artist. You cut out a lot of the time delay, So it's good. That's true collaboration right there, when they just type it on the sly.
That must have been a weird feeling, though. Just thinking about, like, imagine opening up your Instagram, Justin, and like, whoever you're literally talking about potentially doing something with. It seems like you're writing a novel with, right? Just anybody who off the top of your cuff that's like your dude, and you have no idea what's happening, and all of a sudden they're just there, done.
And
you're like, wait, are you real? Is this the real person? Am I getting trolled right now? That's what I would
don't
feel
even
like.
have notifications on either, so I could have just completely missed out on the DM. Like, I checked it at the right time. So I don't know. I looked at my
leaving
Instagram,
him dangling out there.
This is like Travis Barker, and I was like, interesting. So you say?
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Yeah. That's great.
But, so your new record, I said, if you don't save yourself,
yeah,
the song "The End," that's such a great song, and it's got such a relevance, but it's got that '90s vibe, right?
yeah.
But it's so relevant to what's going on today and just the cross pollination of genres and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, people could reference point like maybe influences for you, but were there influences outside of like people go Linkin Park or P.O.D. or whoever they might drop? Is there any influences you like where we might go, wow, holy shit, we did not?
Yeah, my number one influence is Meek Mill out of like everything. That's the reason I started making music. And that would be my number one. Number two, so influence wise, I would say he's the reason I started making music. So that might be a little bit different than influence, but he's the reason I started making music. Kanye and Lil Wayne are like my two favorite artists ever. Especially Kanye. And then obviously I listen to all metal stuff. My first CD ever was, I might be lying about this, but in my memory, it's $3 Bill and Chocolate Starfish were the two CDs my brother had at the time that I got given to me. So, but then I'm like, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that and Volume 3 and the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus Don't You Fake It album were like the first like collective of CDs. Oh, and not the first Buck Cherry album, the second one, 15. And I'm sorry, and Us and Them by Shinedown. Those are like all the CDs that like my brother had, my dad had, that I ended up with. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny with the Limp Bizkit thing is you skip right over the album that really broke for a significant other. That was like the big record.
I don't remember him having that one on CD. Like I had all of those songs on LimeWire, but I don't remember having the physical copy of that. Unless
LimeWire.
Am I wrong here? What is the actual insert of the not the insert, the actual like the print on the CD?
He's
is
stopping.
It
it's a that's $3 bill. Oh, sorry.
$3 bill with the where it's like this and it's a red and it's a
looks like graffiti on the front of it. It's red.
No,
the significant other is it's got blue. It's a blue.
No. I know what they look like. I'm talking about the physical CD, the printing on the physical CD on the actual disc.
Silver on it. And then you flip
No, that looks like an alien ship. I did have that one.
He's fucking dude. The fact that we're talking about compact disc CD colors right now is like the best conversation I've had all fucking year. LimeWire too. I was just watching a fucking Kim.com documentary right before, like yesterday, dude.
I gotta find the actual. It was this one. So it was okay. So Chocolate Starfish was this one. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You know, Starfish. You know, as much as the band was kind of loved and hated back then, Starfish is such a great progressive record almost. It's like not a prog rock album, but it's such a progressive record in the scheme of Limp Bizkit. A very mature record at times.
Yeah, I saw someone one time like classify my music like on Twitter as progressive metal, and I don't think they meant progressive metal. I think they meant metal pushing it forward.
If you like Queensryche, you're gonna love 0937.
Yeah, if you love Tool. No, but so I think they meant like progressive metal, like metal that is progressively going in a different direction.
Well, with those influences you just mentioned or people that inspired you, obviously that helps us kind of better understand where you came to in your music.
Yeah, so
it's strange that you didn't mention Eminem, and I know that it's probably something that you're sick of hearing from back, in those. Now I know the song. By the way, the song was called. I just found the note. The song's called "Before Come Through" because I do love that song you did with No Love. But it was left. Sorry, was it the left?
Left Alone.
Just Leave a Light On.
Leave the Light on. Mark produced.
And I was like, damn, this guy. So I literally thought the first verse of that song when I heard it, it came on like my Spotify. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm from Detroit. I'm here in Detroit right now.
The first one the singing verse on "Leave the Light On." It sings on the first verse.
Well, then it must have been the set wherever you go hard.
There's a third verse. There's a bridge verse. Yeah.
That thing was like, oh, he got it. Whoever this is has Eminem as a feature on there.
I get it for sure. It's hard for me because I know me. Like I'm the one recording it, so I'm not like, oh my god, this sounds so much like something else.
Right.
But I think it's I don't know. It just must be the rapping, because to me, I don't know. I hear it like
it's just the aggression. It just took a moment, and then I never heard it really again. But for me,
I also
at that
think that's
point,
the other thing too. I think that's the other thing is, you can hear a lot of, like, the first time you hear something, be like, oh, this sounds like exactly like this, and then because it's the only other reference point, which is fine. I really don't, I don't know.
And then I just started listening to all your stuff that was out. I think there was like 2 singles or something at the time, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like that at all. I was just that one time I thought it was like a feature. I was like, who the fuck I am on this? Anyways,
I do enjoy the fact that people would be like, I didn't know this was one vocalist. They'll be like, I literally thought there was 3 or 4 people on the song. So I tried.
Yeah, you certainly haven't pigeonholed yourself. That the album has something for everyone. And one of the songs that took me was the song "Tragedy," because I was like, you know what? I listened to this thing. I said, anyone who's like, and take this as you wish. Anyone who's into Post Malone will dig the fuck out of this song.
I'm into Post Malone, so thank you.
So I was like, man, this sounds like something Posty would have done. Yeah, so kudos to you on that. I mean, it's a wide array of stuff, and you bring in such a unique audience for that, because you have the metal, you have the hip hop, you have the alternative, and you have the acoustic, number for the romantics out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Anytime I get into me and my producer, No Love and Middle Child, whenever we make anything, we're just like, this can't sound like the last song we made. We can't do that, because we already did that. And so I feel like that we don't go in with like a specific set of rules to be like, oh, we need this one needs this thing. We'll just be like, it can't be the same thing as the last song. And I feel like that's what kind of creates the umbrella. But like you said, there can be a rap song, and then a metal song, and then like a new metal song, and then a Post Malone-ish song. And it's kind of all that same umbrella, but on one project. It's not like this is so out of place. It's not like, now that's what I call music. You know what I
mean? That's funny you mentioned that, because I was like, you know what? Fans nowadays are so accustomed to just putting on Sirius or Spotify, and it's just a playlist. Mm-hmm. You're basically giving them a playlist. It just happens to be by the same artist.
Yeah.
All these different things. And because people get so bored so quickly. It's like, I already heard a rap song. Oh, now he's doing a rock song. Oh, now
I get bored real quickly too. That's why all my songs are like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love a band that can find a signature sound and stick with it. But if those bands that can really sit there and pivot on each song and do it with authenticity, now it's something super special. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Speaking of special, Bare Bones.
Yeah,
that's what. Good call, Justin.
Thanks, buddy.
We're on the same brain.
So last week we spoke with Bones UK, and they dropped an acoustic EP. And we were just talking about the way that you can take your source material and turn it into something completely new. And it takes a lot of guts coming out of that pretty early in your career.
Yeah. So once again, my producer, No Love for the Middle Child, he's classically trained in cello, and he plays piano and guitar. He does all of my songs except for Adrenaline and Leave the Light On that Mark and Ian did. He does all of them. So we rented out a studio that had a bunch of instruments at it. Milk Boy, do you know Milk Boy downtown? And on 4th Street. And so we didn't use one instrument that had electricity attached to it at all. So if you plugged it in, we didn't use it. Awesome. On that entire project. So it's all live strings.
Didgeridoos.
Yeah, probably.
Didgeridon'ts.
We did. There was a couple 12-string acoustics in there that we did. I don't think we used the drum set for anything either. So all of the drums were like either bongos or like shakers or maracas. Just it was all everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. By the way, I had no idea. And you're saying No Love. You okay? So you guys went in there with the space into the space with that space in mind, I would assume, because you're when you're going there versus I mean, I'm sure you've been to Mark and Ian's place, great spot, but you can't record strings in that room,
No, we do though. We recorded the Adrenaline strings in there.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense. But I guess in my mind, I think I hear a bongo or whatever it is, and I'm thinking about in my experience, you play a bongo set in the room that sounds the best for a bongo set.
We were pulling everything out of their closet, dude. Like everything. We filmed the whole thing. We put the whole thing on YouTube, but
oh shit.
yeah, it was like a week. We just did the whole thing.
There's a certain great vulnerability to basically not being able to hide behind electronic sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work into your nerves as you're doing it?
I don't know. I think it doesn't, because like he Andrew, no love for the middle child. He's so talented that I know he's not gonna steer me wrong. So if he's like, it sounds good, then I'm very anxious. I'm a very anxious person. I have terrible anxiety. So as long as I got someone being like, yo, this is cool, then I'm good normally. It's like that same thing whenever I whenever I do a show, the way that we structure it, at least for the opening slots, is I come out, I have a song called 2x2, and I come out to that song and it's just me rapping on a piano for 2 minutes. And I know Neck Deep crowd, I know Pop Evil crowd, I know Shinedown crowd is either like, yo, this is sick, for the 8 people in there that probably like rap music. And then the rest of them are probably like, yo, fuck this guy. Get this guy out of here. And then my band walks on like one by one. So like my drummer will walk on and he'll play. And then my guitar player walks on, my bass player walks on. And people are like, oh, this is a rock show when I start screaming the hook. So
that's great, man. You add a little bit of a cinematic feel to the whole show.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's nice, like building it. It's not just like, hey, here's everything at one time.
Yeah. I got a question that's kind of like steering us back.
My friend, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break.
Oh yeah,
that'll be a good segue in.
I'm gonna go get a water, so give me 2 seconds.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, right now we're in the midst of Making Waves, episode 69 here with Matt from 0936. And if you joined us, welcome. And besides putting on this great podcast, we also have a pretty kick-ass vacation called ShipRocked. This January 2022, we'll be on our 12th voyage. Featuring Lamb of God, I Prevail, Steel Panther, Bones UK, and this gentleman right here, Matt from 0936. So if you guys are still interested in coming on, we do have limited cabins still available. So you can go to www.shiprocked.com and pick up one of those. And please join us, because it's going to be a hell of a good time and a great way to start off year 2022. Anyway, with that said, we're going to get back in our conversation with Matt from 0936. Chad, you had a question.
Yeah. So I want to take us back to like, before 936.
Yeah.
I already probably know the answer of why there's a 936, but before even getting there, you were starting your career in Philadelphia, where you're born and raised, like in the playgrounds where you spent probably most of your days.
30 minutes outside of those playgrounds. But
so when you started doing what you're doing in general, you mentioned earlier that Meek Mill was the reason why you wanted to start making music. How did you actually apply that the wishful thinking, and what was your first like bona fide, like, this is gonna work, or like, I really think I have something here feeling?
Like, dude, I'm still worried. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm like, yo, this is gonna suck if this doesn't fully work out. I don't know.
It'll never change. I'm sure. Just
I
hope
it doesn't, because I think that's when people lose like their drive. Like, I think Kanye is just as good as he is, because he's always like, I need to be better. I need to be the best at what I'm doing. But I don't know. I was putting out songs for years, me and No Love, since we started making songs together in 2014. And I was making songs by myself before that. And we were getting no traction on anything. We started putting out a song a week. We got no traction on anything. And dude, I think I have like bad allergies or something. Jesus.
Bless you, by the way.
That was a very sweet mute, by the way. I was like, oh damn, very respectful. Thank you.
And then we ended up putting out remixes, and then they ended up like getting put up as like Eminem. Like, I didn't do it. It was like some foreign YouTube pages were putting it up as Eminem, like remixes. I was remixing like all the Cardi B songs and Lil Pump songs and stuff like that. And like, I didn't do it. And then it started working, and we started putting out a song a week with a music video, and then it plateaued for like 2 years. nothing happened after that. I gained like however many subscribers. I was making a living off it. I quit my job, and I was still making enough money to quit my job off of streaming. I had like 500,000 monthly at all times for like 2 years, but it never progressed. I couldn't sell a single ticket, nothing. And I had all of these songs I was making on as a side project, a bunch of like metal rock songs that we were already making. And then we just were like, we have to delete everything and start it over. And then it ended up 2019, met Mark and Ian, did Leave the Light On, put it out. It did well. And then.
See, that would have been like the least likely of what I expected. So I was completely wrong. But I love being wrong.
There it is.
And when you were in, so I'm assuming No Love, your producer, is also from your area, Philly.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm from outside. I live in Bucks County, if you know where that's at.
Yeah.
And then he lived in Cheltenham.
Okay. So you guys just had known each other from, like, how did you get to even know each other at that period?
I was like just doing ciphers and stuff like in Philadelphia before all of this stuff. And then I met a guy who was like kind of Vine famous at the time. And then he was friends with Andrew, No Love. And then I saw him on his story doing like playing guitar solos. And I hit him up and I was like, hey, you should add guitar solos on my stuff. So like early like 2014 or early 2015, if you find any of those songs, like I was singing, dude, what is going on?
It's the ghost of ShipRock's past.
Jesus. I was singing like 3 Days Grace hooks and stuff on songs.
Okay. So
we were doing like rap songs with rock.
Got it.
Elements. We led like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. It's so cool that you were so close with somebody who was able to like not only get what you were doing, but also get where you could go. So that's a huge piece of the puzzle that most people spend 20 years of their career trying to find that piece for. So
yeah, and like the song "Just Like You" by 3 Days Grace, I was singing that hook as a bridge, as a pre-chorus on that song, and Adam followed me last year, and he was like, "Hey, big fan of Adrenaline. I like your song and stuff." So I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I completely stole your hook for a song like 5 years ago. It had like 10,000 streams. I will, if you need the money from me, I understand. Yeah, you know, I don't want you to sue me.
29 cents.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably owe him like $80. So if he wants it, I let him know he can have it. He did not claim it though. He's a nice guy.
All right. Speaking of nice guys, hey, welcome everyone on Facebook who have joined us now. Welcome everyone for our final Making Waves of 2021. And we're here with Matt from 0936, who'll be joining us in January 2022. So welcome. Thanks for spending your Wednesday evening with us. And if you guys have any questions for Matt, please throw them in the thread. We'll get to them and we'll carry on with this conversation.
So the next lot we were talking about earlier before we went live that you had not played a live show until this year, essentially with a band, and well, I guess primitively, and you did it in the middle of a pandemic, and then you did it a lot in very massive spaces. Very cool. I would shit my fucking pants every single night if I was stepping out into an amphitheater. And be like, I haven't done this, but where I'm going with this is the next show you will play will be for us on a cruise ship. How do you feel? Have you been on a cruise ship?
Yes, I've been on like 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
Yeah, and they're great. I've never been on a Carnival. I've done like 3 Norwegians and a Royal Caribbean. So, I'm sure it's not. Is there a casino on this one? Is there like? Will it be operable?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What game? What's your? You guys play? Either you play?
Yeah, roulette.
What's your game? Roulette.
Yeah. I'll blow Chad's horn here. Chad was obviously Ben Wilson from Detroit, and they came on early in the ShipRocked experience and became almost kind of a house band in a lot of ways. So him and the band, they were huge for us. We had this great Super Bowl ShipRocked that was coincided with I think it was the Seahawks and Patriots game, and they played our halftime show on the stage, and that was fucking great. Cheerleaders Chaos. So yeah, it was good for him. Now he's hosting the damn thing. So there we go.
Well,
I will be losing money in the casino with you, son.
Do you play craps?
There you go.
No, you can teach me.
All right, right? I was correct.
Was that?
Yeah, you did. I mean, you sounded great. I haven't played craps. No, I have no idea how to, but you can teach me.
I will teach you.
One thing I was going to mention, and I'm sure Justin can. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm excited about that. Actually, I've literally never been able to come up to somebody with like full confidence, be like, I don't know how to play this game. Can you teach me?
No, I got you 100%.
Tight.
That's my game, so I'll be there most of the time.
I'm like, hey, Matt, remember?
Yeah, I like teaching people how to play. So
excuse me, this is my spot. But I wanted to tell you something very specific. What are these cruise ships you were on? These 4 of them? Were they a music experience?
No, just regular, like vacation.
Okay. Well, then you know what you're in for as far as like a moving ship vessel is concerned. I was going to scare you a little bit about being on a stage whilst the ship is moving, but you'll be just fine.
I'll be all right.
You drink booze?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Never mind.
Never have. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You might not be just fine.
One of our ShipRockers, Angel, wants to know, and this isn't showing favoritism, it's just what city would have been your favorite cities to tour through?
I liked San Francisco. There's a lot of homeless people around there, though. I like San Francisco because for like 5 reasons, they have the new Supreme store there, and it's not crowded. You can get stuff there, so that's a plus. They had a huge mall that had like a Nordstrom and all that shit in it, so that was another plus. And then they had an In-N-Out, and I love In-N-Out, so that was a plus. Seattle was cool. I saw the Space Needle. Don't know why it's called the Space Needle, but it's cool. I looked it up. Still don't really understand. I love Arizona. I would move to Phoenix if I could, but my family is like, nah. So no. What else? I don't like anything humid. I hate humid shit. Like Pennsylvania is like, it's like humid, but it's like, I'll tolerate this.
So Florida, you're not about that.
Dude, I almost died at 98
life.
Rockfest. I almost fucking killed myself. I swear to God.
From humidity?
Yeah. Or just from heat in general. Too hot. It was too hot. I remember
that shit sucks.
I was speaking of being on a cruise before. I was on an island. This is not the same question, but that was a good. I feel like I answered that right.
So you're saying San Francisco was your favorite place to play?
No, Portland was cool too. I
So
like
the
LA
North-
too. I live in LA. I lived in LA for like 2 years. I like LA.
Yeah, hey, Matt, I live in New Orleans, dude, and this is basically like,
Oh yeah,
it's the portal to hell. And yeah.
Seriously.
I want to go to New Orleans because my favorite place in the world is Raising Cane's, and I want to go to the first one. So,
The original.
What is it, Justin?
It's a chicken place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite place in the world.
Hey, Sharna answered your question about Space Needle. She goes, there's some super smart people that go on these threads. Space Needle built for the World's Fair that was space themed during that year.
See, I was looking it up though, and I don't know. I feel like the architect he's a fucking. I don't like that guy. I haven't met him yet. I don't even know his name. I haven't read much about him. I don't like.
Still alive? Is he?
I hope so. I hope he's alive and well, man. He has a restaurant up there apparently.
So I can meet him and tell him that he fucking sucks.
Look, Chad, tonight's great, man. We're getting a lot of questions. Melissa wants to know who was the inspiration, if you want to give it. Who was the inspiration? Yeah. I'm not.
Oh, so that was one of the only like sessions that we did in the pandemic at all, like in person.
Oh, okay.
With Drew Folk, if you know Drew Folk.
I know Drew very well.
He was like, hey, haven't been out of my house in 2 weeks. And I was like, me either. He was like, we should do a session at my place. I was like, let's fucking do it. So we made that song in like 4 hours. And we had a bunch of like other lyrics that were more politically charged. But I was like, that's not me. But it was just the time. And I was like, and I was really into the, supporting all of this stuff.
Of course.
And the original lyric was like, I'm not searching to be a victim. Like, that whole thing. But then it would just kind of turn into the same idea of I'm not searching for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Being like, who you are is who you are. And that's kind of how that came about. But we didn't want to hit it too head on, and people be like, why are you speaking about this type of thing? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want to just say something really quickly. I think the question I would have is, do you start your songwriting process when you're in those particular situations? You know, like I'll take a Drew, because we just talked about it, where you're co-writing with another person, and you maybe do or don't know each other, and you're going into a room, and I've been there so many times, and I've been on the other side of it with somebody so many times, where I'm like, okay, I have music I want to show them, and we'll build off of this, or I have a top line chorus idea that I want, or just even just a foundational version of the song. What do you usually start with?
So, for example, with Drew, he's like the most talented person on the face of the earth. He's literally like, he's produced like all of the best albums that I've heard in a while. He's produced them. So I was just kind of like, hey, you do what you think that I like about your stuff, and let's do that. So, because
that's pressure. You're like, what do I like about your stuff, Drew? Let's do it.
And I was like, and kind of just like, but what would that mean for me? Because because he really likes all of the rap stuff that I do, and I like all the metal stuff he does. So it's kind of just like, what would you? And then you heard the song "Manic" by Wage War.
Yep.
Crazy. Out of here.
Yeah.
So, hey, we have a 2 for question. A, when's the next EP going to come out? And B, who do you want to collaborate with next?
Next EP, I was trying to, it just didn't work out, but I wanted to get it out for March, but I think like June. I would imagine June. I would hope that June would be the one. I want to get another song out before the headline tour on March 2nd. But Corey Taylor is the one I've been trying to collaborate with. And I know he likes to collaborate, so someone got to know him at some point and tell him.
I'll say what's up. We'll give him
let him know. Someone let him know.
Somebody let him know.
Or Kanye, but that's way far. That's way far out. Okay. But I'll count my blessings.
Hey, there's a lot of Ice Nine Kills fans here, and they want to know how that collaboration with Spencer came to be.
So Spencer's the nicest guy ever. And he followed me on Instagram, and I was like, hey, dude, you want to remix this song? And he was like, fuck yeah, I love that song. And I was like, hell yeah. And then that was it. He was just like, cool, I'm going to go track it. I was like, cool.
Man, you and the DMs. The DM is working out for you.
Dude, fucking hell yeah. The DM is sick.
Dude, seriously, like that's a pretty great tool to like, not only to you're able to utilize it in such unique ways, but when I started making, I'm 38 years old. And when I started making music and I wanted to collaborate the first times ever, I had to like go to the hall show in my shitty fucking town and stand there until the end of the fucking show and be like, all right, while they're loading out their speakers from the PA, and be like, hey man, could you help me record this song? Or do you want to feature on the, Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sucks ass, dude. Sorry.
Especially when you're like, damn, motherfucker, never even had to pay that $5 for that BFW all show.
Yeah, so that sucks. I tried with Ollie and Jordan from Bring Me. I haven't gotten a response yet, but we're waiting on it.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm waiting on it. That's another one too.
If you're 22 is anything like you're 21, man, maybe you'll get that DM.
Hey, Chris wants to know what instruments you play.
Fucking guitar poorly. That's about it.
To be a songwriter, that's all you need to do is play guitar poorly.
I used to play guitar when I was a kid. I can write riffs now. There's a couple, like I wrote the Adrenaline, the acoustic part on Adrenaline. I don't play it too poorly. I'm just fucking around. It's not great though. I used to play when I was a kid, and then I was like, yo, I had this thing when I was like 12. I was like, I can't do both. I either got to rap or I got to play guitar. And then I picked rapping, and then I ended up picking up guitar again later. But
and Lil Wayne did it. So
Lil Wayne did it. He also skates. So
yeah.
Who knows?
He does skate.
Who knows what I got coming for me?
I mean, like it's not, like you could be like, yeah, I want to play the bassoon. It's not too late. Anything's possible.
Mm-hmm. Not now. I'm not. I've honed in on at least one thing.
Yeah, just show up on stage with a bassoon and see how that goes. Like right off the bat, opening.
Yeah. I played Adrenaline for like a live show one time on guitar while I sang.
Oh, it's great, man.
I hate doing that, dude. Never doing it again.
People, I will say this, like I felt this. I grew up playing guitar. Justin, do you play guitar at all?
I can do like just riffy shit.
Okay, so I grew up just learning how to play Nirvana and the Toadies. Those are my like fundamental like fucking basics of being in a band. I never really played guitar live in any of the other bands after this one early band that I did play guitar in. And then I was like, I want to do it again. It was awful. Like the last band I was in, Wilson, the last record's like, oh, I would play guitar like for one song on in our set sometimes. And I sucked so bad, even though I could play it at home. I play it at home all the time. But people who are into what you're doing, they will love it no matter what. And it's a special moment to be vulnerable like that. I think in general for an artist to come on stage and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck up. We all fuck up. Who gives a shit? Let's sing along together because this is why we're here. You're not here to hear me play a pentatonic scale in perfect synchronicity with my lead guitar player. You know.
The one time I did play Adrenaline Love, I fucked up the chords. But anyway,
there you go. People are like, you fucking rule, dude.
Like, dude, this is fucking sick. It's like, this is awful, dude.
Justin, am I taking us too far away from the crown here? Should we go lean into our own versions of Walking the Plank?
Yeah, go ahead and listen real quick. Thank you, everyone who's been throwing questions our way tonight. It was really great as far as the questions. There's a lot to ask for. We probably need like another 20 minutes to get to all of them, but we got to the beefy ones. So
thank you, guys.
Well, we're going to do a little bit of Walk the Plank right now with Matt. So, Chad, if you want to go ahead and throw yours out there.
Yeah, I'll do mine, and then I'll do the artist one after yours, if that's cool. So it's simple, man. It's actually a two-parter. First part is Pats or Genos?
Neither.
Okay, then my second part is D'Alessandro's of John's.
D'Alessandro's.
Okay, boom.
Yeah, okay. I'll go D'Alessandro's. John's is sick too, though.
Yeah, I mean, you said D'Alessandro's. No takes back.
Yeah, I won't take it back, but D'Alessandro's. John's sick too.
Good.
My question is this: other than anything by Meek Mill, what's your desert island album?
Yeezus.
Really?
Okay. Justin goes, really? Okay.
I should have picked a longer album.
She would have 808s at Hard Race, dude.
Yeah. I should have picked a longer album. That's not longer either, though. I think it's the same time.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like what's the 808's 12 songs? Yeezus 10 songs. Yeezus has longer songs.
Oh, you're right. I mean, you are right, I'm sure. But do you think that like a shorter versus a longer album, Justin? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, if you're gonna have one album,
if I'm gonna have one album, that's what I'm thinking. Late Registration. I don't know.
White Album by Beatles. It's too.
If I get lost at sea in the next 2 hours, bro, I'm gonna be pissed I didn't figure this out right now. I'll get
Fish Live 1999, something like that. That's probably like a.
There's a box set of Widespread Panic Count.
Yeah, dude.
College Dropouts an hour 16.
He's looking at the time.
Late Registration's an hour 10. Oh, Graduation's 54. We're staying away from that. 12 songs on 808's 52, like I said. Yeezus, 10 songs, 40 minutes.
So you're going with Late Registration, right? Is that what you said?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna get back to you. If I get lost in the next 2 hours on an island, I'm gonna be fucking heated.
You're gonna be like,
figure this out now. Should have figured this out back then.
All right. So here's what's up, dude. Like this question I'm gonna ask you is from last week's guest who had no idea who this week's guest was gonna be. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you their question, and then you're going to pose the question for next week's guest, who you have no idea who's that's gonna be.
Okay. Do I get 2 points for guessing who last week's guest was if I don't know?
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. You just don't know who next week's going to be, and they didn't know who you were going to be here. They just.
I was trying to gain extra points. It's cool.
You have extra points. Sure. Who was last week's guest?
I got to hear the question first.
Okay. What calms you down before taking the stage?
That was I Prevail.
It's Bones UK. Very, very far away.
Oh, you already said that shit. Yeah. I could have got 2 points.
Give away earlier. Yeah.
Hey, 40-minute records. But the question that they had for you is, what calms you down before taking the stage?
That's what I was saying earlier. Nothing. I have to do. I didn't get to that part. I have to get like a reaction first, or my anxiety never stops.
Okay, a reaction.
I have to see people be like, "Yo, I don't hate this," and then I'll be like, "Thank God," and then I calm down.
Okay. In the case of, have you ever been booed? Then
no, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. It happened
And
to me.
I'm like, dude, if that's me, I'm gonna fucking, you know what I mean?
You'll never forget it.
Now you just plow through that shit.
I am just joking around.
If you get booed, you just be like, open the pit, and then you just start swinging on everybody.
You're like, oh yeah, well I hope you do better or something like that.
Fucking open the pit then.
All right, so you get to ask next week's question, a question of anything that you would like to ask to our guest for next week, and you can't know who that is.
Okay. Do you guys know who it is?
Yep.
All right. Okay, we got to do this right this second. We got to figure this out. Can we collectively figure this out?
You got 7 minutes, so
oh shit. All right.
We can go back to it, come back to it before
we'll circle back.
We'll go who, just because I'm looking at myself in a camera right now, we'll go who's best, and if they don't know this answer, you got to kick them off the show immediately. Who's the best Attitude Era wrestler that they're out of all of them?
Who's the what?
Best Attitude Era wrestler. WWF Attitude Era. It's like 96 to 2001, maybe 97. 97 to 01.
Well, wasn't Mr. Attitude wasn't he like a late 70s, early 80s guy?
No, the Attitude Era was like Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold. It's when all this shit was cool. And I'm looking at myself right now, and if it's
fall into that category?
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, I wrote it.
Is it Chris Jericho? Is it gonna be Chris Jericho?
I don't know. No.
I was like, dude, that's fucking crazy. I asked that question, huh?
If it was,
dude,
I would be so fucking afraid of, because I have to ask him this.
Yo, so Chris, who's the best Attitude Era?
Yeah. So who was the best WWF Attitude Era wrestler?
Yeah, because I'm not trying to hear fucking dude. I'm not trying to hear
Roddy.
I'm not trying to hear Jake the Snake. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit, bro.
No Bushwhack Bros. I get it.
No, skip that shit.
You know what? But without giving away, the guest next week is totally gonna probably hit this one out of the park.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And I figured my chances on this were good. That's why I was like, I'll ask it, and everybody else does ask him.
Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, $1 Million Man. I knew that was coming. I knew that shit was coming.
It really makes up for that 40-minute Kanye record that you're putting yourself in check for.
Fucking Christ.
Hey, yeah. Oh no, you already answered. Okay. No, Conor McGregor is MMA. He's not the same thing.
No, but Conor McGregor is awesome, and I have a pair of signed gloves. So
really?
Yeah, it's framed. I don't have it in here, but I do have it.
I'm telling him.
Or those
McGregor. Let him know.
Hey,
tweet him.
Screaming at him from across the press line.
See it.
For $1 million, would you go 3 rounds with him?
With who?
With McGregor.
No.
Okay.
No. I wouldn't last 3 rounds with McGregor. You wouldn't last 10 seconds. It'd be over.
Well, then you're knocked out. You're unconscious. That's worth $1 million.
You know, one thing that I'm a huge UFC fan, and one thing I don't understand is I'll watch these dudes like Max Holloway. I don't know if you guys know UFC, or am I just ranting? Am I rambling?
Yeah.
Listening. So like Max Holloway or someone like I'll just do Max Holloway if you guys know who that is. They'll stand there and I'm pretty sure he's absorbed the most shots and also taken the most shots. Now, my point to this is, what is the conditioning? Because a normal person, one Max Holloway hit, you're fucking toast, bro. It's over. You're toast. And I don't know the conditioning that you have to be in to take 300 Max Holloway shots in a round. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, where's the threshold? Is that what you're saying?
What are you doing in your free time?
Partners. I
mean, what are you doing with your free time?
Building up that callus of a head from sparring.
Must be. I don't know. I don't want a callus in my head, bro. On all the CTE, I'm worried about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I have to tell you, I don't want a callus on my head either, so I totally understand.
So let's keep ourselves callus free and stay out of the ring.
Cover up any kind of scarring, so you're good.
Yeah.
Hey, well, yeah, you heard of Muay Thai. Is it Muay Thai? Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Yes. Melissa wants to know if you obviously have heard of Muay Thai. Yes, he has. And yes, Melissa, as far as a meet and greet, he'll be doing a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, Matt, we've had you for about an hour, bud, and we really appreciate your time.
Cool.
New EP next June, hopefully, and collaboration TBA.
I do have a few that are very exciting that I have not put out yet. And, and it makes me wonder why more people don't do collaborations. But
so you guys can find those on LimeWire. Is that correct?
Yeah, FrostWire too, I think. So
I can't wait to see what color your CD is when it comes out, bro.
Dude, it's just the album cover. I didn't have enough time to design it because I do all of my merch designs and design like Hollywood Undead's merch and some Papa Roach's merch and stuff like that. So like I wanted to do a CD design, but they were like, hey, we need to know if we're printing this right now because it's pushed back like 6 months. So we need to get it in today. And I'm like, okay, here it is.
Oh, so you do have an actual physical copy?
I do have physicals out, yes. But I don't have vinyl because vinyl is pushed back till December 2023.
It's crazy.
What?
I want to shoot myself.
Why?
Don't know. Wish I knew. If I knew, I'd skip the line.
You remember those ships?
Oh yeah,
that ship that got stuck.
Also, I remember like 3 years ago, I was at a mall. I was at King of Prussia Mall. You know what that is.
Oh yeah.
And the guy was like, yeah, so the thing about vinyl is there's only 3 vinyl presses total, like at all, because it's so dangerous to press vinyl and shit. And I was like, well, or something about pressing vinyl is dangerous and explosive or something. I don't know.
It's a very specific, yeah.
I didn't listen enough, but I listened enough to know that it's dangerous and there's like 3 people printing. Now, I'm sure that's multiplied because of the demand. I'm sure there's a lot more presses, but even if you open double the amount of presses, that's only 6. Think about it. So
like Dark Side of the Moon's into like its 10,000th pressing, and I'm sure that come on.
Can they chill?
No.
If Pink Floyd didn't have to press it up again, maybe somebody else would be able
to. If they had to press these fucking vinyls, I would have my own vinyls now.
I got one word for you: cassette. Go cassette.
Oh, dude.
You single-handedly could bring back the Walkman.
I will bring back the Walkman. I'll bring it back. I'll single-handedly also be the only person using it.
Yeah, I'm putting a tape deck in my motherfucking car. That's how hard I'm going.
No, dude, you're gonna strap your boombox to the front seat like it's a passenger, like we used to with a bungee cord.
Yeah, dude. Also, that reminds me, back to Lee from Pop Evil. He's supposed to get me one for the bus, and he never got me one. So,
boombox.
It's like a thing that you can like hook up Bluetooth, but it like looks like one. I never got one.
All right,
I got a bone to pick now. Thank you for reminding me 6 months later.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
I love bones.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
dude,
Carl.
we're gonna see you in about a little over 3 weeks, and we're stoked to have you. Thanks for joining us, man. And I think people are going to be totally blown away who haven't seen you yet. So we're looking forward to it. And yeah, awesome, bud. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in ShipRocked land. Thanks for joining us tonight. Be safe this New Year's Eve, and we're going to see you guys here shortly. And thank you for joining us, and thank you for making us part of your 2021. It's been a blast. And this is a great way to end 2021 for us on Making Waves. So we'll see everybody out there. Take care of yourselves, and we'll do this again next Wednesday.
Happy New Year. See you soon.
Well, it drops Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern on Spotify and all the other places you get streaming stuff, and over at YouTube. So thanks, guys.